All right, everybody. You may notice that it may look different. Because we're trying something different this time than how we typically record. So please bear with us as we try to work through these growing pains, I guess. But we are joined here. We are here again. I'm with Japhet, and
How you
we
doing?
will be going through Proverbs, starting at Proverbs 1.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, man, would you like to say anything before we start about Proverbs?
No, just hope everybody gets blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing up, I've known Proverbs to be one of those books that has a lot of wisdom. We say gems a lot, and I think Proverbs has a lot of gems inside of it. You definitely can find something in here that can apply to multiple areas of your life. Whether you're a man or a woman, honestly. So I'm interested to dig deep and see what we can uncover.
Yes, sir. And learn something.
Exactly. All right, so you can start off Proverbs 1.
All right. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. To give stability, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If if they say, Come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them, refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a few parts of that chapter that really stuck out to me. The first one is verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Yes,
That's
sir.
very interesting. And then 18, it says, and they lay wait for their own blood, they lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. So it says, so are the ways of everyone that is greedy with gain. And the verse before that, it says that they wait for their own blood and they look privily for their own lives.
Yes, sir. So what does that resonate with you? What does that speak to you? What do you get from it?
I think, I think there is and I feel like I've been exposed to it, but not a part of it, but a culture that's so focused on more and achieving things and just getting more things, right? Focusing on gain. I
Mhm,
think that really brings out the fact that gain should not be something that's chased. It should not be something that is the focus of someone's life.
mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I feel like the more you envy someone, especially when you're just living a simple life and you're not working hard for your keep, you tend to be envious and jealous of the people that work hard and are shining. See, everybody doesn't like the process. They love to see the finish line and they always wish. I
Mhm.
wish that was me. I wish I could, man, if I did that, I would, of course, but the thing is, you can do it. You just decide to live the life of simplicity.
Mhm.
You, instead of working hard to gain something, you rather chose the easy route. And when you see someone succeed, instead of understanding them for going through the struggling phase, you automatically judge them just for shining automatically. And you don't
Mhm.
realize how much it took for them to shine like that. And because of that, your jealousy and envy grows based off your thoughts saying it should have been me, you
Right.
know, should have been me.
Yeah.
And because of those thoughts, you tend to spill the blood of your fellow peer, your fellow kin, your fellow friend, your fellow anybody that is out here standing out in your presence where you just feel like, hey, I should have been the guy.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
why do you deserve to be the guy if you did not do anything to be that guy?
Right.
And that is what the message I'm getting from that is those that do not actually stand for something or
Mhm.
have a purpose in something tend to think in evil ways because the idle mind is the devil's playground at the end of the day, you know? So if you're just simply just hanging out on the block, like, just like in the hood, how you will always go to the gas station and there's that same guy every day just sitting there talking, can I get $1? Can I get a cigarette? Can I get a penny? Can I get a dime?
Mhm.
The funny thing is you might leave and go, let's say it be the morning, you showed up in the morning, you went to work, you came back later, and the same guy is still there, did not move. Those are the people you need to worry about. That's the guy that will rob you without any like thought or empathy because he is desperate to survive. But his demise is his own making. And that's what do you call it? Proverbs is warning us about
Yeah.
is that if you live a life of simplicity, you're not going to be happy in the land that you live.
Mhm.
So I feel like that chapter was speaking more from a sense of a warning,
Yeah.
like giving us an example, like, hey, if you do this, this is going to happen. That's why you need to first fear the Lord,
Mhm.
and everything else will be added
And
to
up to
you.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what stands out to me out of that.
All right. I'm gonna start chapter 2 now.
Sounds good.
My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thine heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. Hmm. That I just want to stop there. It says, if thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hidden treasures. Have you ever seen any of those movies where someone's looking for hidden treasure?
Yeah.
They, it is not something where like they passively do it, right?
No,
No one passively looks for treasure. My friend,
no.
if someone
You
says
need
there's
you need
treasure over there on that
skills.
island,
You
you
need
go there for a
skills.
purpose.
You need skills too. You're not just gonna get to it could be on climbing a mountain. You have
Yeah.
to dodge traps. You
Hmm.
probably might have to dodge even the wildlife that might be guarding the place
Right.
because it might be a jungle, whatever it may be. There is something you should expect. So now, whoever decides to go look for a treasure, they're serious, my
Yeah.
guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
because you don't just make that decision saying, you know what, let's go find a treasure just for fun.
Right.
Because you don't know if you're gonna come back.
Hmm.
That's how that's how dangerous it could be.
Right.
But that's definitely makes sense when he's talking about the way we are to receive the words and also obeying the commandments. If we
Right.
were to search for it like silver or treasure, it will benefit us. Is
Hmm.
practically what I'm getting out of this.
Right. Because going from verse 5, it then says, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For
Right.
the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
Right.
He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He
Mhm.
keepeth the paths of judgment and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. Doesn't that sound like promises to you?
Yeah. See, the whole thing is it's kind of like a warning and a promise at the
Yeah,
same time. It's like, hey, this is what's gonna happen if you don't do this.
yeah,
And if you do this, this is what I'll do for you. So,
yeah,
hey, I like it. I like it.
yeah. And I,
See, it's kind of like an instructions manual, you know, when it gives you the
yeah,
warning label. Yep, it's the same thing.
yeah, very true. So 8, he keepeth the paths of judgment and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. It's literally giving you the instructions. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things, who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger, which flattereth with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk into the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Man, that's some serious stuff.
Yep. It's warnings. It's
Mhm.
practically letting you know, hey, if you do this, you will survive everything. You will survive any situation that comes forth that is trying to divert you from your path because you understand the beginning of wisdom and the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
And because of that, you are able to see. A lot of people are spiritually blind. Like I feel like the people that are more keen into understanding more things
Mhm.
happening in life has to do with their spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah.
If you are not spiritually enlightened, you cannot understand certain things of the material. That's why you have to understand what is happening in the spiritual in
Mhm.
order to understand what is happening in the material.
Mhm.
And that's where that makes sense in every aspect of what we heard right now is
Yeah.
if we walk the path that we are supposed to walk, he promises to be our buckle,
Mhm.
to keep us in a straight path where we are accompanied by a light where we can
Right.
see. And because we can see, we can identify the threats.
Yeah.
Just like he pointed out, the evil man that is trying to plot against you, destroy you,
Yeah.
kind of like a hater. He's practically named out a hater. That was a hater he defined
Yeah.
right there. Not even lying. And then the second thing is the woman with the fluttering words. That sounds like the promiscuous woman, like the everyday modern hoe on the street trying to holler and flattering words flirt with you.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Because I want to not play devil's advocate, but I want to sort of allow us to think about this a bit deeper because the Bible, not everything in the Bible is meant to be taken literal, right? So
Right,
although they do mention a scenario where it is a promiscuous woman,
right.
does this actually represent something different rather than just what we're seeing as face value, which is a woman that left her husband and now is leading tons of men to their demise, pretty much.
Right, right.
Right.
See, the thing is, it could have another meaning, but overall, I feel like that in itself is a great example to mirror any other situation.
Mm,
Because in the end, I feel like that is the great example because it is one of the biggest weaknesses man has
man. Yeah.
is if there's access, it's easy for him to just fall into temptation
Right.
because it's available
Yeah.
compared to if God was to use another example, it wouldn't hit the same, It hits really hard or home
Hmm.
because any man that is an adult and going older will understand and perceive it in the manner that God is trying to portray it to us.
Right.
So it does make sense when he is talking about how the promiscuous women, it can lead you astray. Because the one thing I have noticed in life is that a lot of guys are actually innocent if you think about it.
Mm,
They just pretend to fit in.
mm,
You feel me? And usually when they're with the girl that they really like, a girl they really like can convince them to do things they've never or done or thought of in their life.
yeah.
You
If
get
they're not
me?
strong-willed.
If they're not strong, but most of the time they're not because they're boys. They're not men yet. They're boys. They still need to grow spiritually. But because they're experimenting with their life and trying to figure out what is what,
Mm,
in all, it's kind of like riding a bike for the first time and falling off every time. You
yeah,
know, you're gonna hurt yourself and cry and all types, but then out of nowhere, you're good at it
you're gonna get it.
because you didn't give up. See, that's the whole point, is that God allows us to go through these scenarios even though he has warned us about it, because life is the best teacher in the end of the day. You
Yeah,
know, like what you experience can either break you or make you.
thank you.
And that's up to you at the end of the day, you know? Like I believe trauma is a real thing, but I believe humans are more capable of adapting to any situation, regardless of how terrible it is.
Yeah,
Because history has showed us, regardless of what other situation anybody has endured, people have survived.
yeah.
You
Humans are
know?
very resilient.
Very
Yeah.
resilient. So I can't just go and feel bad for someone because they've gone through something bad and say it's okay and justified for them to remain where they're at. No,
Mm,
you need to pick yourself up and carry yourself, as long as you got air in your lungs, carry yourself upright with your chest and say, I am a child of God and I am willing to go and change my circumstances. It
yeah.
doesn't matter what it is. Right now, it's bad, yes, but it's okay. I am going to get up and change it. It all comes down to you staying down after you got beat down or standing up after you get beat down to get beat down again.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get beat down. That's the what I've heard from my older peers, my elders and stuff. They all told me, because I used to ask, does life get easier when you get older? They're
Mm.
like, no,
No.
don't expect that.
Yeah, no.
The difference is you get stronger. That's
Mm,
the difference. You get stronger,
yeah,
but your circumstances keep getting harder and harder and harder and harder. But the difference is you become stronger. And that's
yeah.
what sets you apart from everything else, is that you're resilient. You're able to adapt.
Hmm.
And that's why I believe that if you put your mind to something, regardless of what someone or anything might have done to you, as long as it didn't kill you, it made you stronger.
Stronger. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And
Agreed.
God made us like that for a reason. We're made in his image for a reason.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
yeah,
I definitely agree. I think we may have the time for one more chapter.
sounds good. Let's do it.
Right. This one is you.
All
Chapter
right.
3.
Chapter 3. All right. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and
Hold
man.
on. Pause. It's it's so interesting to me how the answers to so many things in life, it's like it's not only here in the Bible, it's in plain English.
Yeah,
It's in plain English, but you would hear people because they may not focus on like reading God's word or trying to have that relationship and seeking the kingdom first, they
right.
would miss this, but it's very straightforward.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For a length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Exactly.
You
It's
don't
that
have to
simple.
ask, oh, how can I live a long life?
Exactly.
The- It's
Right
right
here.
there.
Right here.
Man, seek
That-
ye first the kingdom of God and all his
Right.
righteousness and all these things will be
Everything is gonna
given
be
to
added
you.
unto you.
It's right there,
Hmm.
man.
Direct and simple,
Direct. Can't miss it.
not complicated.
All you have to do is pick it up and read it.
Hmm. But people rather they have better things to do with their time.
Mhm.
And they wonder why they're depressed and sad and lost and wondering
Yeah,
why they have so many questions that have not been answered. It's because you haven't read.
yeah,
You gotta read. You gave us the literature.
yeah,
But I think we were on four. No, five. Trust. So Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Sheesh. You heard that? That's how powerful that is going to be. That is going to be healthy for your navel. You know what your navel is, right? In your body.
yeah.
And marrow to your bones.
Yes.
Marrow is the core of your
Yep.
bone. Like that's the inside of your bone that produces the white blood cells, the red blood cells,
That's the
stem
foundation.
cells. That's the if you don't have that, you're
You're
cooked.
done.
You're
Cooked.
cooked.
That's why people try to do like bone marrow transfusions, and that's a
Right.
serious operation
Very serious
because you're
operation.
done if you don't have it.
Right. But yeah, that's deep. That there
Man,
tells you that there tells you is you need to lean on God. That he's telling you right there. Stop leaning on your own.
understanding.
You we stress ourselves with our future. We always say, where am I going? What am I about to be? I can't believe I haven't made it yet. I can't believe da, da, da. I can't believe this is going like this. Whole time we're leaning on our own
On our
understanding and
own
we're wondering
understanding.
why life is horrible. It's
Yeah.
because we don't give it to God. We don't just say, you know what, God has planned my life. I'm just going to walk it.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is. It's crazy, man.
It
Literally
is.
telling us it's healthy for thy navel and marrow to thy bones.
Mhm.
Okay? That's powerful. Honor, so we're on chapter 3, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 9.
Yeah.
Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. So it's practically telling us we need to give to God
Tides.
what we have got. Like if we come up on something in a great abundance,
Yeah.
we need to give back to God. That way it will the blessing just rotates and comes back and fills our pockets
Exactly.
right back.
And it says out of the increase.
Yeah,
So
out of
that
the
means
increase.
you take that out first.
Yeah, out of your
Don't
profit.
save for last and
Out of
then
your
give.
out of your profit. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you're giving respect because that is respect
Hmm.
because it came from God. You're giving back to God, and God gives you more.
Yeah.
It gives you more.
That's how it works.
Yep.
Just now, we have 8 minutes left for this Zoom, so we may have to start up just after this one.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll probably make it. We'll probably make it. All right, verse 10. Oh no, verse 11. Sorry about that. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that get understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her.
Mhm.
Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. You heard that? You heard that?
Peace.
You heard
Hmm.
that? Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thy hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give when thou hast it by thee. You get that lesson?
Hmm.
If your neighbor asks for something, don't lie and say, come back tomorrow.
When
I'll
you
give
have
it
it.
to you when you have it.
Yeah.
That is fraudulent work right there. Like your neighbor's in need, and you out here trying to tell him come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you told him to come back tomorrow, what's gonna stop you from telling him to come back again tomorrow when he
Exactly.
comes back tomorrow?
Exactly.
That just shows you weren't willing to help.
Mhm.
You weren't willing to help,
Yep.
and what goes around comes around.
Yep.
Devise, all right, we're on verse 29. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. So, plotting against your neighbor because you see him living it up, having a good life, just because he right next to you, you just jealous and envious because he got a better life than you.
Yeah.
God's telling you, do not plot against your neighbor.
Don't do it.
Like, don't do it. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. So that means don't even fight. Why are you gonna fight somebody and he ain't done you
He
any
hasn't done
harm?
you anything.
You just randomly fighting somebody
Yeah.
like a crazy person. Verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Ooh, that's deep.
Mm.
That's
Envy
deep.
not the
That
oppressor.
actually that actually applies to a lot of people. A lot of people.
Mhm.
Because I have noticed so many people will condone toxicity or abuse
Yeah.
because they were abused by somebody. And it's like, why are you following their way?
Yeah.
Why are you continuing the cycle?
Yeah. Very true.
Why are you being like them?
Hmm.
They inflicted trauma on you. Now you got to go and affect other people. It's kind of like you're spreading a disease.
Yeah.
Why bleed on the people that didn't cut you?
Hmm.
That's the question right there. God is literally asking you. He's like, doesn't make sense that you will hate the oppressor for what he has done to you, but
Mhm.
then you would go do the same thing you hated him for to somebody else.
Yeah. We got
That's
two.
that's crazy right there. That's just crazy.
It is. We got 253 left.
All right. All right. So now we are on
31. Okay.
32. 32.
Yeah.
For the forward, no, for the forward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools.
There it is. The why I think that's the perfect verse to sum all of this up. The wise shall inherit glory, but the shame shall be the promotion of fools.
Yes,
The
sir.
only way that the Bible says to get wisdom is to seek the word of God,
And
fear
fear
the
the
Lord.
Lord and keep his commandments in your
Yeah.
heart.
Man, I think this was a very, very good reading, and I'm definitely looking forward to what the rest
Very
of this
eye-opening.
book has for us.
Very eye-opening. We learned a lot of things.
Yeah,
We learned a lot of things that
definitely.
apply on a daily basis.
Yeah,
And if I'm speaking to the audience, if anybody has had any questions that you are looking for, I think we have answered some of them.
yeah,
I think we have
yeah,
answered some of them. So I'm definitely glad to be a part of this. It was pretty
definitely.
nice. We learned a lot.
Yeah, man, definitely. And we have a minute left, so we're gonna sign out. But I encourage you guys to also open the Bible for yourselves. Sometimes it can be daunting or you don't know where to start, but sometimes it's just about starting, right? And
Exactly.
just continuing on. And I'm just taking it verse by verse. Reading a full chapter may be too much, start off with a couple verses.
Right.
But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes,
Until
sir.
next time, this is me, Leslie, signing out.
Japhet, Simon signing out. Thank
All
you for
right.
having us.
All right. See
Have
you
a good
guys.
one.